And we're back. What's going on, everybody? This is your good pal Jer-dog with my daily live fake talk show, the 420 Report. It's actually after 4:20 p.m. today. I'm running just a little bit late, but what am I going to do? I'm here. I'm ready to go. Now get over it. While the audience builds, let me just throw out some upcoming show dates. I'm really excited to be heading to Clinton, Wisconsin this Thursday, July 18th, where I will be teaming up with my co-star in the Screwly Wed game show, the retro comedy game show, Boxcars Pub and Grub, which is the flagship venue for the Grassroots Comedy Tour. Boxcars Pub and Grub has been bringing in a comedy night the first Wednesday of the month, running from October through April for like the last 5 years, and they sell out pretty much every goddamn show they do. I think they've had a grand total of like 5 empty seats over the 5 years that they've been doing comedy nights there at Boxcars Pub and Grub in Clinton, Wisconsin. So this Thursday, any of my South Central Wisconsin friends, get on out to Clinton. Tell Randy and Tim I said hi. And come see Jer-dog and his friend Daryl Moon in the Screwly Wed Comedy Game Show, hosted by Bink Winkleton, the world's sexiest time-traveling game show host. I have to say that. I'm under contract to say that. I know it sounds stupid, but what am I going to do? And then this Friday night, Odo, Iowa, at M&M's Bar and Grill. It'll be my first time ever performing there, so I'm really looking forward to that. And then this Saturday, July 20th, I head all the way to Wapaka, Wisconsin for a show at Schuler's Great Expectations. So, Wisconsin people, any of my Wisconsin peeps out there, we got 2 of them this week, Thursday the 18th, Saturday the 20th. And I'll put all that information in the video description above or the comments below. Next Saturday, July 27th, I head to Deer Creek, Illinois for a show at Buddy's Restaurant and Bar. Looking forward to that. And then from there, I head on over to play in a comedy pirate show starring as Daring Dirk de Bloon in Swashbucklers Comedy Pirate Show. So, and I'll be doing some videos from that as well, so you guys can get. I know you're thinking it's going to be fucking weird. It will be fucking weird, but it's family friendly. You'll get to see Jer-dog do some family friendly comedy. Family friendly, they say. So even though, like, my 8-year-old son runs around cursing and swearing all day long and pull assholes and douchebags and shitheads, we're trying to totally curb that. But on one hand, I feel like a total hypocrite because I go full on rated R, raw and real and uncensored, especially when I'm doing my comedy. And so it's hard for me to tell my kid, hey, you can't talk like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's got access to YouTube, and he mostly watches video game shows, which is really bizarre. He doesn't play video games. He watches other people playing and commenting on video games. But if you ever were to come across my YouTube channel, at the Bar Comic, by the way, if you haven't subscribed, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so I can monetize that bitch. But then, of course, I won't be allowed to curse on it anymore. They demonetize you on YouTube for cursing. You're not allowed to go on the radio if you curse. Not allowed to be on TV if you're cursing. So the internet was like the last safe haven of us free spirits to like to go totally raw and unfiltered. Oh, now we got some people joining in. I see what's going on. Daryl Humphreys, no, cussing is not funny, says, okay, so this is my mentor that brought me up in family-friendly comedy, doing the Comedy Wild West show, the same company that puts on Swashbucklers that I'll be doing coming up here in a few weeks. And that is family-friendly. And one of the comments that I hear a lot of times from people when they are criticizing comedians is they'll go, oh, I don't like so-and-so. I don't I don't understand why you have to curse to be funny. And it's like, it's not having to curse to be funny. It's not like you have to curse to be funny. People, I don't understand why you have to use foul words to be funny. If it was using foul words that made the thing funny, then anybody could just roll around saying F word or whatever, and it'd be like, oh, look at that fucking, ah, ha, ha, just because they drop an F bomb. That's not exactly how it works, you know? And I do think that a lot of comedians rely on cursing or shock value just because they have an incomplete joke. It's kind of like a garage band. You know, a new band, a new rock band, they've only been playing in front of their friends in their garage, and then they finally get the chance to get their big live debut at a venue in front of a real audience, and they don't really have the skills to truly entertain the crowd. They might be musically gifted and talented and can rock out, but they don't necessarily have the experience or the chops to truly entertain the audience. And so what they'll do is just crank the music up really loud. A lot of times that's what I think of as a comedian that just uses cursing or shock value in order to get the crowd whooped up and fired up and get them paying attention to what they're saying on stage. You know, they just want to be obnoxious and shocking just for the sake of it, because they don't necessarily have the chops or the experience to keep the audience's attention otherwise. And if all you have is cursing, if all you have is blue material, you are dead in the fucking water. You got to learn how to work clean just for the skill of being able to write jokes and explore the entire range of your tools and your vocabulary that is at your disposal in order to make that a complete joke. And I'll admit, a lot of times I fall into that bad habit of throwing out some F words or whatever, especially when I'm improvising. You know, I'm going off the script. I'm not doing the usual routine. I'm just working with whatever the audience is throwing my way and trying to create material off the top of my head. And a lot of times I'll throw in an F word just to buy myself that little extra split second of time in order to complete the thought in my head, so that way the joke can come out the best that it can. And sometimes that's all it takes, just that little extra split second to complete the thought in your head so that it comes out actually funny. And I will use cursing as a crutch to do that sometimes. But then I go back and I'll watch the video or I'll listen to the recording. I'm like, oh, yeah, F word probably didn't need to be there. You know, there's probably a better word there instead of the word shit. You know, or, you know, I could probably say something a little more clever at that point instead of using a curse word. But I also don't think cursing just completely disqualifies people from being funny. I mean, that's where Humpy and I might have a little bit of a disagreement there, buddy. It's like cursing is not funny. That cursing in and of itself on its own, definitely not funny. Otherwise, you can just roll around saying shit, fuck, motherfucker, cunt, cock, son of a bitch, and people will just be laughing their asses off. And then you got your HBO special. That's not how it works. You know, you got to learn how to work clean just so that way you have the skill to be able to go on the radio or be able to go into some of these channels where they don't allow that kind of raunchy, quote unquote, raunchy talk, that rated R talk, that adult language, because, you know, they do have advertisers. They do have people that are listening that are part of a general audience that they don't want to offend. But if you're in a nightclub, tavern, or neighborhood bar, places where I go to, you know, they're adult establishments. They're drinking establishments, 21 years and over. There are no kids present. You know, you don't have to worry about offending anybody. And if somebody is offended in a situation like that, they should have fucking known what they're getting into to begin with. You know, you're going into an adult environment in this day and age when we've got YouTube, we've got the internet. You can look up who the comedian is going to be there. And if there's somebody worth their fucking salt, they should definitely have a bunch of videos out there online or content that you can explore and see if that comedian is your cup of tea or not. But there are a lot of people these days who are actually more sensitive about the subject matter than they are about the actual vocabulary or the words that are being used. So I don't know if that's you. That seems to be the biggest thing these days, is that people get hung up on your attitude or your subject matter or whatever the case may be. You didn't even say a curse word. You just said some quote, another off limits word, or you made humor about a quote a supposed off limits category that you're not allowed to make fun of people that fit into that category or people that have been in a situation like that, even if that includes yourself. A lot of times I'm doing full on self-deprecating comedy. I'm telling jokes about my life, my story, my attitude about it, and you still get people that it hits too close to home. It cuts too close to the bone, and then they're offended, like somehow they think you did research into their fucking life, like you have a video camera in their home and you know exactly what's going on, and that you just sort of disguised your making fun of them as a story about yourself. It's like, I don't know what the fuck these people think sometimes that get offended about things. But most of the time these days, it's not because you say the F word. I mean, I get that if you're doing a show like in a family friendly environment, people don't want their kids exposed to that kind of talk. But like I said, my 8-year-old's nothing he's never fucking heard before. People, they get upset or they get over a word that's not necessarily a curse word, but it's suddenly become an off limits word to use or an off limits topic to talk about. I see this all the time, even like on Facebook memes. A friend of mine, Nathan Allen, Maniac of Magic, put up a photo of a guy standing up at a taco stand, and there was a wheelchair behind him. He was like, you see, tacos do create miracles, or something along those lines. And then someone just went off the fucking rails about how you should never ever make fun of somebody who's using a wheelchair, because you never know why they might need that wheel. It was like, oh my God. It's like, let's not make fun of miracles either. Let's not make fun of tacos either. It's like, holy shit, it's a fucking joke. And quite frankly, usually the people that are offended about the material that you're doing or the topic that you're discussing or the words that you're using, sometimes it's like a word that they don't like. It's not necessarily offensive. It's just that they don't like the word. Like this, I get this one with moist all the time. I can't stand the word moist. I can't stand it. It's like nails on a chalkboard to me. It's like, so now that's a curse word too. That's a word we all have to be careful of saying, lest we offend somebody or make them feel uncomfortable. They say the fucking word moist. Are you kidding me? But a lot of times if you're making fun of, like, you know, maybe you're making fun of a certain demographic, or you're making fun of somebody in a certain situation, or whatever the case may be, a lot of times the people that are offended by that stuff, they've never even experienced that. They're not even in that demographic. They're not even that type of person. They think that they're being the white knight standing up for the fucking little guy. And usually that's the little guy that finally feels fucking included. You know what I'm saying? Like people say, oh, you want to include as many people into the show as possible. Yeah, when you're talking comedy, that means busting everybody's balls. You know, I'm going to deliberately exclude the person who I don't think can take it. That's actually being more prejudiced on my side. That's being more discriminating and judgmental on my side. I'm just going to look out into the crowd and decide who can take the joke and who can't, and then therefore that determines the rest of my set and what I can talk about. They go, oh, I hear this a lot. Oh, I can't believe you were saying some of those words with all the older people in the crowd. Well, you're a fucking ageist then. You don't think that the senior citizens in the crowd can handle a few F-bombs or a few jokes about sexual innuendo? They can't handle rated R humor? You fucking kidding me? You know, today's senior citizens were yesterday's hippies. I guarantee you they did some experimenting with free love, drugs, sex, drugs, rock and roll, all of it. They ain't going to be fucking offended by the Jer-dog Comedy Roadshow. And if you are going to be offended by the Jer-dog Comedy Roadshow, I highly suggest you stay away this Thursday, July 18th, when I'll be bringing my show to Boxcars Pub and Grub in Clinton, Wisconsin, with my co-star Daryl Beanbag Moon in the retro comedy game show, The Screwlywed Game. It's basically the rated R version of the Newlywed Game. This Friday night, Odo, Iowa, M&M's Bar and Grill. This Saturday night, Wapaka, Wisconsin, Schuler's Great Expectations. And then I go on to do my family-friendly comedy, show you how versatile, show you how fucking good I am. Do rated R in the nightclubs, family-friendly character comedy when I'm doing the fairs, when you're performing for all ages and you're in a more of a general environment. And it also takes me back to my youth when I very first got started, and that's how I learned to do comedy. That's how I learned joke writing. You can be funny. You can be a funny person. There's a lot of funny people out there. And I remember growing up, most of my friends that I hung out with and partied with, high school and college, we were all funny. You know, I go to the bar, I'm hanging out with people. Everybody can be funny. Everybody's got a good sense of humor. As a matter of fact, that's one of the things that kind of irritates me when I'm hanging out with people. Is they're like, I expect you to just be cracking one-liners all night long. Yeah, well, guess what? I'm not fucking socially retarded. That's not what I'm going to do. Can we hang out, just have a regular conversation, and then if something witty happens to pop into my head, I'll throw it out there, and if I get a laugh, great. If not, that's fucking fine too. I don't give a shit. You know, but when I like hanging out with people, I like it if everybody's contributing to the humor of the conversation. It's not me up there just doing some fucking waka 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 Fozzie Bear routine when I'm just trying to hang out with my friends. You know what I'm saying? But when you're doing comedy is different than humor. Comedy is different than just conversational humor. Comedy is a skill. There's a performance side and there's the writing side. And when you're first starting out, you want to do as clean as possible so you can develop the writing side, so you can develop the creative side. And then once at the same time, while you're developing your the performing side and you're getting your experience as a live performer and being able to handle all the variables that will be thrown your way during a live performance, which is the beauty of a live performance, so that anything can motherfucking happen and you just got to be able to react to it. And that's what the audience like to see most, because it reveals your vulnerability as a performer and it connects with the people that much more. They like to feel like they got to see something new and different that no other audience gets to see. So I always welcome those. I always welcome the mishaps. I always welcome the wheels off moments that make me have to perform in the moment and react to that and then turn it into something funny. And in the course of that, I'll probably drop a few F words just while I'm trying to gather my thoughts into fuck, now I'm rambling, whatever. It's the skill of comedy. It's totally different than just being humorous, just being naturally funny, learning to write jokes, learning to deliver those jokes, learning to do it over and over and over again in front of hundreds of people, hundreds of times throughout the year, and making every single time that you're doing it seem like it was the very first time that you're doing it. That, my friends, is a fucking art form. And once you've got that stuff down, once you've got the skills and the chops under your belt, you've got the experience, and you've got a full calendar of comedy gigs coming your way, then and only then can you break the rules and start using some rated R material. Of course, what do I know? I'm just a douchebag comedian. Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for being here. It's a job. That's right. It's a job. In like most jobs, you got to develop the skills appropriate to it. Jim Stewart, agnog, liberal goat fuckers should not attend. Brooks says fucking snowflakes. Holy moly. You see, and that's what my crowd is like. My crowd likes it real. They like it raw. They like it rough. That's what I'm going to deliver to you, whether I'm on a Facebook Live video every day at 4:20 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, or whether I'm doing my show live like I will be this Thursday night, Boxcars Pub and Grub, Clinton, Wisconsin. This Friday night, Odo, Iowa, M&M's Bar and Grill. And this Saturday night, Wapaka, Wisconsin at Schuler's Great Expectations. Next Saturday night, July 27th, Deer Creek, Illinois at Buddy's Bar and Restaurant. And then I go on to do clean, family-friendly, all ages character comedy in Swashchuckler's Comedy Pirate Show. I'll be playing Daring Dirk DeBloon, pretty much the hero. The good-looking hero of the show. I've been pigeonholed, people. Annette, good comment, Annette. She says, most people expect that. We're in clubs, bars, adults. Hello. Annette says, we, the audience, cuss. I know I was that one. Remember in Vassar, Michigan, crazy little fucker? Yeah, for sure. And those Vassar, Michigan people are some crazy fuckers. And that was a good time. We had someone that was interrupting the show just nonstop, and the opening act that I brought out with me had a complete fucking meltdown, you know, and then she left, and then she came back halfway during my routine, and then during the after party, they did some karaoke, and the girl that was heckling us went up and did some karaoke, so I decided to turn the tables on her, sit down at karaoke, and just heckle the shit out of her. Of course, it doesn't work quite as well when there's music playing at full volume in the bar, as opposed to just somebody trying to talk and win the audience over just through their words, just through their gestures, just through their facial expressions and their stage presence. You don't have those loud-ass instruments that you can just turn up to 11 and then overcome the fucking heckler that way. And that's another reason sometimes you got to throw out a few F-bombs. You know, you get some disruptive motherfucker in the crowd, you got to drop a nuclear bomb on their ass. Otherwise, the show is going to be ruined for everybody else that paid their ticket price. All right, that's all I got to say today. Thanks for your comments. Let me know where you're watching from. Leave that in the comments below, and I will let you know when the Jer-dog Comedy Roadshow is coming to your area soon. Otherwise, hey, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, At The Bar Comic. You get all the behind-the-scenes stuff. Well, I don't say all the behind-the-scenes stuff. You know, I don't film literally every second of every day that I'm out there on the road. But you do get some of the crazy behind-the-scenes stuff. You see the random shit that happens when you tour the country, entertaining alcoholics at nightclubs, taverns, neighborhood bars. You get to see me battling hecklers, partying with rednecks, car breakdowns on the way to the gig. Go to my YouTube channel, At The Bar Comic. Hit the subscribe button. Get me up to 1,000 subscribers so I can monetize that thing. And then, of course, I'll probably have to stop cursing on YouTube. But whatever, guys. And then, if nothing else, just come back and visit me here at 4:20 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, or as close as possible on the 420 Report, my daily live fake talk show right here on Facebook. Until then, dog bless America. Thanks for watching, everybody.